Hull FC already out on the pitch. The Boulevard Hull welcomes a good crowd for this second round Silk Cut Challenge Cup tie. The winds of this morning, unfortunately, have not relented, but the rain has eased off and the pitch is a little soft. But good conditions underfoot, ideal conditions, and two teams here, I'm sure, with strong cup traditions. The good news this morning for St Helens fans is that loose forward Shane Cooper finally passed fit. There was a lot of controversy in the dressing room. He was coming out and he wasn't going to come out, but here he is to shake hands with the mascot. Tommy Frodsham comes in at standoff. The absence of 3 weeks of Neil Holding, and a lot of responsibility on that half-back pairing of Frodsham and Young Divine. But good news also, I think, for Hull. Their skipper too can take the field. He was out this morning, but Noel Cleal, despite a broken toe, he will pack down in the second row to complete for me what looks a typically strong Hull pack. That front row of Dannett, Jackson and Harrison really impressed me this season. Boulevard Hull welcomes a good crowd for the second round Silk Cup Challenge Cup tie. The strong winds of this morning have not relented, unfortunately, but the pitch ideal, good conditions underfoot, and two very strong teams. The good news for St Helens was that Shane Cooper only passed fit minutes before the whistle, and Tommy Frodsham comes in at standoff in the absence of Neil Holding. But on the Hull side, good news as well. Noel Cleal, despite a broken toe, he packs down there at second row. And a very strong front row in Dannett, Jackson and Harrison. Really impressed me this season. And it's St Helens in the usual white strip, red V, to face what is, Alec, now getting up to be a very strong wind, isn't it?
Yes, it is, Ray, and it really should be a very interesting game. Both sides in banging form, and we should really be in for a cracking match.
Interesting, these doubts about Cooper. You know, he was coming out and then he wasn't coming out from the dressing room.
Well, there must be a doubt about him. He's been struggling all week, and it'll be interesting to see how he goes during the game.
Well, there he is, Cooper. If you've got a groin strain, I wouldn't be expecting him to be kicking to touch, so he can't be too bad. Oh, penalty. Well, I don't think the referee, Jerry Kershaw, will stand for any messing there. He's been on our screens quite a lot this season, getting a lot of the top matches, this schoolmaster from Easingwold. So, Hull looking to be on the attack. And really, Alec, Hull must be looking for points this half with this wind.
Yes, they've got a very, very strong wind, and surely the idea will be to put some points on the board before half-time.
That's a bad pass. Alan Hunt, youngster, one of the British Amateur Rugby League under-19 tourists to Australia last year. Another lad here who went to Australia, this of his own volition, Bernard Dwyer, number 11, playing for Manly. Cooper, Frodsham. Hull coach Brian Smith slammed his side this week regarding their defence, reckoned that it was far too sloppy. Said that Saints mustn't be allowed to get outside, out wide, and I think that's the danger for, isn't it, Alec, on the outside? Yes,
I think people like Lachlan and Phil Vivers, obviously, if they move the ball out wide, they will have problems.
Good tackle there by number 8 for St Helens, Paul Forber. lost twice to St Helens in the league this season, 19-12 and 34 points to 24, but of course cup rugby entirely different. That's a good tackle from number 7 for Hull, Phil Windley, making sure that good advantage of the kick. Quirk. Suffered from a broken jaw earlier in the season, this St Helens second row, Bernard Dwyer. Cooper, that's a good ball to Haggerty, but a bad drop. Well, the whole crowd roaring about offside, but Frodsham was the marker. Mackey. Back to Harrison. Been a good buy from Featherstone Rovers, this big, tall number 8 for Hull. That's a good kick. Very useful kick. Good kick there by number 13, Steve McNamara, one of the local lads coming through the amateur and colt sections here on Humberside, and taking good advantage of this strong wind. You can just see that corner flag there to the left of our screens, fairly blowing there in the breeze. And Noel Cleal, playing with a broken toe, but means so much to this Hull outfit. Very powerful blockbuster in midfield. Saints will need to stop his breaks. St Helens twice have had the ball, Alec, and twice they've dropped it. Yes, and that's a bad miss. Bad drop for Paul Forber, because you can't give all chances in this position. First time we've seen number 4 there, Marquis Charles, ex-Dewsbury lad. Good strong bollocking run there from Russell Walker, the ex-Barrow captain, signed over Christmas for Hull. Really a new, reshaped Hull side. Did so well last season, Hull finishing up in the Premiership final playoffs, but Australian coach Brian Smith reshaped the side again. Dannett to Jackson. And the 6th tackle. Alec, looking a little ragged there. Well, they're looking a bit disjointed there. The most important thing for St Helens is they just keep tackling in these positions. I think for Saints against this win this first half, it's a case of sort of hanging in there and hoping they can pick up a few points. Yes, St Helens seem to always play well against Hull, and it's very, did they keep the ball moving out wide. Forber. Already the cries of the Hull war song, Hull Old Faithful, roaring around the ground. And the 3rd loss of the ball, this time again George Mann. That's 18 tackles really forfeited by St Helens. You can't do that in a cup tie. This is good play. Neil Turner, good run from this ex-Doncaster lad. Hull on the attack. Cleal. St Helens' new Kiwi coach as well, Mike McCallan, tried to stiffen up the defence. And Mr Kershaw's hand raised again, back to the 6th tackle. Jackson. Oh, beautiful ball from Windley, but that was a good tackle. Oh, that was a magnificent piece of play there between Jackson and Phil Windley. A yard from a try. And this was very, very good play from Hull. A beautiful ball from Windley and some superb defence from St Helens. Yes, that was a valuable tackle there from Tommy Frodsham.
Yes, they have been talking, Ray, about tightening the defence up, and looks like they've been practising.
George Mann. I don't like the way he holds this ball in one hand, this man. He's always likely to lose it, Alec.
Well, what he looks like laying the ball off, Ray, and at the moment I'd just be content with holding it.
Cooper. That's good play under pressure. Showing some of his best form, this lad, since signing from Doncaster, but yet again another victim of this lack of possession. Four big lads at prop there, Forber and Mann for St Helens, and oh, that's a heel against the head. The Vivas, Connolly. Good play by this youngster. Another youngster who went on the amateur tour. Paul Forber seems to be running well, Alec.
Yes, it's obviously that Paul Forber and Shane Cooper, everything revolves around Shane Cooper.
There he is, number 13. And this lad, Frodsham, good footballer, signed, bargain basement, £20,000 from Swinton. Number 6, Tommy Frodsham. Man, that's good rugby. This is good. Oh, almost an interception there by Greg Mackey, but certainly saved a difficult situation, this number 6. I think we're seeing here St Helens obviously under orders to move the ball around, but this number 6, Mackey, stopping the movement. Shane Cooper asking why, but the referee, Mr. Kershaw, insistent. Foot up. Time for a rest for the likes of Harrison and Dannett, those big props. Hull, last winners of this cup back in 1982 after a replay at Ellen Road. Twice winners of the cup. Harrison again. And Dannett. Jackson, that's a good run. Oh yes, he's got support outside him. Just decided to go a little too far, but good footballer, this lad Lee Jackson. Runs like a second row. And still Hull on the attack. Mackey. Well, he lost it. I thought for 1 minute then he'd got it back, Alec.
Well, really, that's bad play, though, from Hull, Ray. Really, they've got to capitalise on these chances. And this is a beautiful break from young Lee Jackson. They say this fella's one of the up-and-coming hookers, and doesn't he look it? I think if he'd turned to his right, I think there'd have been try begging.
In fact, Russell Walker was on his right, Alec.
Yes, it looked as though if it had gone to the right, there was a big chance of a try.
I think St Helens content to still be 0-0 after 12 minutes. They've had 2 chances against them. Dwyer. But this defence very, very sound from Hull. The 6th tackle, the prop forwards either side of the ruck, moving in quickly. High tackle there by Dwyer. Yes, facial tackle. Not a malicious tackle, but certainly we can see why Richard Gay's wearing the headgear. As more and more players are these days, Alec.
Well, obviously, Ray, I think a lot of people, it's just common sense, you know, does no harm, and it keeps them safe.
Paul Eastwood, number 2, eager to get this ball into play, and then to get himself into play. Met each other quite a few times, these two clubs, in the Challenge Cup, with St Helens winning the last 5 encounters. Here's a good run. Oh, he's missed it. No, he's given a try. Well, it's a try, and he done it. He seemed to come from nowhere. He just plowed through the tackles. Certainly the ball was lost over the line. Whether it was before and after the try, we'll see.
Well, this is certainly what St Helens didn't want here. Andy Dannett flies onto the ball here. Where's the defence? Where's the tackling? George Mann, Paul Forber, very, very guilty indeed.
Well, I would think there'll be some debate about that, but it's still 4 points to 0 for Hull. Dannett, big, powerful lad, brushed young Connolly aside. St Helens complaining about that try, but I don't think they can have any complaints with the tackling like that. He went through 3 tackles, and that's the sort of defence that the new Kiwi coach Mike McClellan was not wanting. But a long time left in this match. So another 2 points from Paul Eastwood, his 63rd goal of the season, and Hull in the lead, 6 points to 0.
Now, there is a doubt about this, but watch Andy Dannett. There's no doubt about the 2 bad tackles here. Paul Forber, George Mann and Gary Connolly brushing him out. Now, watch what happens. Does he put it over or does he lose it? It was very, very dicey.
I think it depends where you come from, Alec. Ball clean. Steve McNamara playing this game in St Helens half. That's a good kick. Using this very, very strong wind. Looks forward, McNamara. Eastwood there, chasing it, but quite content to see the ball roll into touch. But St Helens healing the ball well. Most of these Australian coaches, Alex, play for position all the time, don't they?
Yes, and they've got the strong wind, Ray, and it's very, very important that they play St Helens in their own half. But also St Helens have got to come forward a bit more with the ball and keep hold of it for 6 tackles.
Cooper. Haggerty coming inside, but I think really St Helens have got to move this ball wide. That's what Cooper's trying. Beavers. You can see the difficulty there with the wind. Phil Beavers keeping that kick low, not gaining a lot of ground. And there's the difference. But sensibly, Gary Connolly letting it go.
Yes, but that's good tactics from Hull, but I can't understand the tactics from St Helens, Ray. It's very strong wind, and kicking for possession in this game is just not on.
George Mann just taking this ball up at first receiver. No one really on the St Helens side making a break as yet. Groves. Goal, good run by Groves. Yes, and lying on. Phil Windley, number 7 for Hull, lying on the ball, and a good play by Groves again now then. He's got Sean Devine outside him. He'll not make it. Good cover tackle there by Noel Cleal, and Cleal holding down. And played again by Cooper. And again another penalty. Still Haggerty. Now then, Alex, should he have gone for 2 points?
Well, I think that was very, very bad play, Ray. If they don't come away with points in this game and they lose by 2 points, I think Shane Cooper will be a very worried man.
Certainly the second penalty was directly in front of the post. There were 2 points begging there. But can Saints get the 4 or 6 here? Loughlin, that's a good ball. To Dwyer, he's going for the line, and he's got it. Well, Alex Murphy and I were wrong. Shane Cooper was right. And St Helens have got the try that they wanted. They moved the ball out wide. Bernard Dwyer was there. It was a formality for this local St Helens lad. His second try of the season. Showing no emotion, but I'm sure he'll be delighted with that.
Well, obviously proved wrong, but Shane Cooper here, queuing up to score tries here. Tommy Frodsham, Bernard Dwyer shows a fine turn of pace, runs through for a good try for St Helens.
And I think Saints really there showing the difference in pace between these two sides when St Helens have that ball out amongst the backs. Paul Loughlin to kick. Another player troubled in recent weeks with groin trouble that's hitting these rugby league players at the moment. A powerful kicker when he's at his best, but not today. So, no goal for Loughlin, but 6 points to 4 for Hull.
Well, I think St Helens had to score here, but they was absolutely queuing up to score this try. Frodsham, Dwyer, and it looked a little lack of pace in the other side. Good try for St Helens.
So, just a nice time to score, Alex, 20 minutes into the first half.
Yes, and I think Brian Smith, being a tactical coach as years, he'll look at that video and say, how on earth do we turn it back when a fella takes a tap penalty and 60 yards?
Les Quirk. Again, another ex-Barrow player. It makes you think, Alec, that, well, you've been linked with Barrow this weekend. Barrow at the bottom of the league. 3 Barrow players in this match.
Yes, there's been some bad selling somewhere, hasn't there?
Forber. I think we can see why St Helens was so keen to get New Zealand loose forward Shane Cooper fit. We had a message from the dressing rooms just 5 minutes before they came out that he wasn't playing, that he did appear, but he's doing all the distribution. Richard Gay. Oh, good run by this Gay. Brilliant turn of speed there. And I think Tommy Frodsham's taking a knock. Windley.
I just think there is a difference in pace, Ray. I think if St Helens move the ball out wide, they seem to have that extra yard of pace.
I think especially in the pack.
Yes, the 1 or 2 men seem to be just walking in.
That's a bad kick. Kick out on the full.